I went undercover as a Filipino in a YouTube game show. My job was basically to create a fake Filipino persona and then convince 6 real Filipinos that I was one of them. So, how did all of this happen? Well, a few months ago, the YouTube channel Jubilee reached out to me to see if I wanted to be a part of an episode of Odd One Out. If you guys don't know, this is a series that they do where they get a group of people from one demographic and then they put in a mole or an imposter to try to convince the others that they are also a part of that group. In this episode, there were 6 Filipinos and 1 secret non-Filipino. And of course, all of the Filipinos were blindfolded. So I gladly accepted the offer to be the imposter for this episode, and they flew me out to LA to record it. So, how did I do? Well, we're gonna have to wait and find out. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Okay guys, the video is up on Jubilee's channel. They just uploaded it a little while ago. I haven't seen it at all. I haven't looked at the comments, nothing. So we can watch it for the very first time together right now. Okay, let's go.
I'm Filipino.
I'm Filipino.
I'm Filipino.
I'm Filipino.
I'm Filipino.
I'm Filipino.
And I'm Canadian. So I actually have a YouTube channel where I make content primarily in Tagalog. I do interviews with other foreigners who have an interest in the country, and I also do reaction videos where I go out to restaurants and speak Tagalog with Filipinos, and normally they're like really surprised that I can speak the language. So yeah, I'm really excited to be a part of this, and I hope I do well.
That's cool. I'm glad they let me include my little plug for my YouTube channel. I wasn't sure if they were going to keep that in or not. I wasn't really able to talk about my channel that much, and so I'm glad that they put that in at the beginning.
His full name.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Yeah.
I go by Ray Matthew Cabato.
Not the Rays.
Oh, so many Rays.
Yeah, my name is Bianca Jolene. My first name is Bianca Jolene, and then that Jolene is a combination of my parents' name.
My name is Sean Satari Donna.
That's unique.
Hey.
Yeah.
Very unique.
I don't know.
From the mountains, maybe?
So my name is Jana Luis de los Reyes Decimito.
Oh, yeah.
That's
If we're talking about names.
You win. My full name is John Mendoza Manalo.
Yeah. Wow,
Okay.
Now this is getting hard.
Yeah, that's hard.
Okay.
I just Googled popular Filipino last names, and Manalo actually is a last name, but it's also a verb in Tagalog to mean to win. So I thought it'd be like a good omen.
That's true. I actually Googled a list of the most popular last names. And then I also went with John for my first name because it seems like it's a really popular Filipino name. Like I hear it everywhere. I've met so many Filipino Johns. But then after I did the recording for this, a bunch of people told me that Jared is also a Filipino name. Now, I don't know, like I've maybe met one person named Jared that was Filipino, but I'm not sure. So anyway, you guys tell me in the comments below if you think Jared is a Filipino name or not, and if I could have just used that instead of changing it. My second beginner's Tagalog course is now available. I am so excited to share with you what I've learned after speaking Tagalog for nearly a decade in this second volume of my beginner's Tagalog course. I'm not interested in teaching you anything that you can't actually use in conversation with Filipinos. This course is all about helping you gain useful vocabulary and essential grammar points so that you can actually express yourself in Tagalog. I know what it's like to feel overwhelmed and intimidated by the idea of jumping into learning a new language. But trust me, you can do it, and I'm here to help you. Click the first link below to get started. Now, back to the video.
He went by John something Manalo, but he didn't have a second first name.
My government name is Paula Marie Ambestros Guerra.
Ambestros.
Very Spanish. Marie's very...
Yeah, Marie.
Yup.
So I go by Mark William de la Vega.
Oh, these are all
Sound like a politician.
I know, right?
What if I am?
You even said that like a politician.
What province is your parents or you from?
Well, my mom's from Malabon. My dad's from Culucan.
So I was born in Quezon City. So, and before I moved to America, I lived in Antipolo, Rizal. But then my dad is from Nueva Ecija, that province. And then my mom is from Bicol.
Represent.
Yeah. Bicol.
Yeah, so my mom's from Bicol.
Ah.
So Nabua specifically. My dad's Ilocano.
Wait, Nabua?
Yeah, Nabua.
Oh.
Like
my
Quezon
mom-
City, Naga
Okay.
City, all that. Yeah.
Cool. It's like not common for people in that province to immigrate to the US. Wherever his mom was from was a city over from where my mom's from. So I was like, oh, like, trust this guy.
My mom is from Cavite province, and my dad is from Metro Manila. So I was actually born in Manila. Yeah, and then I was raised in Canada, and then like maybe, I don't know, 2 years ago I moved to California.
Okay.
Why'd you move?
For work.
What do you do for work?
I'm a graphic designer.
Nice.
Artistic, creative.
It's not a medical professional though.
Yeah, that was a conversation for sure with my parents, but I was a little bit worried that people would think the story was a bit too complicated, that I was born in the Philippines, moved to Canada, and then later moved to California, and I think that worked.
Both of my parents are from Iloilo City. My dad got a transfer over to the Netherlands, and that's where I was born. He studied math. He got a PhD in math, and then he got a job offer from that and moved to the States.
My mom is from Cebu and my dad's from Baguio. So the beach and the mountains, we got a little mix.
My dad is from Pangasinan. My mom is from Bulacan, I think. I'm not too sure, but
As soon as she said that she wasn't too sure where her family was from, I was like, okay, this is something that I can use against her. Because, like, generally people know where their parents are from, right? And so I was like, this could be something that I could use to make other people suspicious of her, that maybe she's the mole.
I was born and raised in the Philippines for, I would say, 10 years. And I moved here about, I would say, when I was 14.
So you guys have all been to the Philippines?
Yes.
Yeah, I was there in December.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm the only one who hasn't been there.
You've never
you
been?
gotta go to the motherland.
But I'm fluent with the language.
So when Mark said that he had never been to the Philippines, but he speaks Tagalog, I was like, okay, that's something that I can like kind of jump on right away. And it kind of makes him a little bit more suspicious for the other people. Oh, how did that happen?
Well, I was threatened to learn. My mom told me, "Pa hindi ka naaral ng Tagalog, pumunta ka sa Pinas." I'm like,
I feel like somebody that was gonna come in here and just speak Tagalog, like, I was like, oh, they're probably the mole.
You see, that was something that I was a little bit hesitant of at the beginning. I didn't want to come in too hot. Like if I'm immediately speaking Tagalog with everybody and being like, hey, look at me, it's just going to draw too much unwanted attention. And like, it kind of feels like that would be a good idea, you know, to prove to them, hey, I am Filipino, but in reality, it's too obvious.
But I feel like him being fluent in Tagalog, I was like, maybe you just like assimilated here.
I feel like my parents wanted my ate and I to just assimilate so bad in America, you know?
Yeah, same.
Like, I mean, I moved here when I was 3, right? So that's why I have no accent. But like, I was born there, right? So in my head, I'm like, it's kind of embarrassing that I don't know Tagalog like fluently.
I don't speak it at all. I only know 3 words. Salamat po. Thank you. Taba.
Taba. Of course. Yeah.
do you know any bad words? Oh, of course.
He said like the most basic ones. So I said, like some friend probably taught him something and then, you know, went along with it. So I was like, still, I think it's fake.
I can speak it pretty well, but like, I definitely have an accent. You know?
I feel like that's a Phil-Am kid thing. Like we all, like our parents spoke in the heavy accent, but
I needed to make sure that if I did end up speaking Tagalog, it wasn't suspicious that I had an accent. So that's why immediately I was like, yeah, I speak it, but I have an accent, you know, just so that I could kind of cover my tracks on that.
then they grew up, like we grew up here and then they're like, "Oy, you put that in the basura," you know? So
I struggle with the language a lot because I grew up with like TFC playing in the house. And like, I would see a lot of like Filipino dramas, but then my parents also speak Ilonggo, a different dialect. So like I get mixed up on what is Ilonggo and what's Tagalog. But like when I'm in the Philippines, I know enough to like understand people, but I don't be speaking it fluently.
You guys are all convincing liars.
I know, I have no idea.
which one of you were just raised there?
Does anyone have a family name? My grandma called me Achok.
Achok.
It means nothing, but it just sounds cute. So I went by Achok in my family.
Growing up, my family always called me Jolo.
Jolo.
Yeah, from John.
I actually have a friend named John who goes by Jolo. So shout out to you, Jolo. Thanks for the nickname.
They call me Maasim.
Okay,
Because
sour.
I'm a twin. So there's Maasim and Matamis because we're sweet and sour. One's very mean, one is very sweet.
I felt if the mole was in our camps, they would be trying to speak Tagalog. I felt like he was just going hard on the Tagalog to prove his case.
There were definitely some people that were trying.
That guy, he made it too easy for me because he like came out of the gate just like speaking Tagalog like crazy, and people were suspicious of him like immediately.
That I felt were trying a little bit too hard, and that's where my suspicions were coming up.
My parents call me Pot. There's also like Kaka, because my name's Bianca.
My family calls me Jang. And then for Filipinos, you know, they usually like double it, like Jang.
Yeah,
Kinda,
yeah.
you know, like the Filipino names.
Now that sounds something nice.
Yeah.
She doubled it up, but I feel like when she was saying it, I felt like she was putting up an act. Like when she said her family nickname was John, I was like, okay, that's not believable.
Wait, is there anyone in here that's like, they can't understand Tagalog?
When there's a bit of English, I'm like, okay, I get context, but I'm lost. I'm so lost.
Wait, you said your mom's from Nabua?
Yes.
So can you understand Bicolano?
Yeah, my mom and like my stepdad speak that dialect.
Oh, cool.
But like, what is it? I can't discern between that and regular, so.
I get that. I can't either.
Technically, Bicolano is the person and Bicol is the language. Just saying.
I think I kept throwing my Filipino like language out there, and I guess it was enough to like eliminate me for it was a desperate move for me to like, hey, like I don't want to get eliminated. I'm telling you, I'm Filipino. This is me.
Yeah, what's everyone's karaoke?
Yeah, I had to go for him first. I just knew that everyone else was suspicious, and so if I voted for him, it would probably send him out, and it worked. So I survived the first round.
Go-to karaoke song.
Journey Open Arms is I sing it, so.
Are you Tito?
Hey man, I get to build my voice.
I can't sing for so like I'm just being honest, like I don't do karaoke because like my dad, when I was living there with him, he would always bring out his karaoke stuff and then he would let me like sing, but then like I get really shy, so I stop because I know I don't have the voice for it.
Me too.
Yeah, I just
dude.
sing my heart out when I'm alone.
I just be
so
singing.
yeah, same here.
My parents love Frank Sinatra.
Wow.
Did they sing in the Philippines?
Yeah.
Oh, they are ballsy. you know the lore behind that, right?
No.
About like that stuff.
Yeah.
kinda? Yeah.
Yeah, and if you sing My Way at a karaoke bar, you're not good at it, you get shot.
Oh,
That's facts.
I did not know about that.
Yeah, it's the My Way killings. It's a whole thing.
Babel is also really fun.
Oh, Babel.
I was getting so nervous when he was talking about that because I was like, I have never heard about this at all. This was another thing that I just Googled before the show. So I looked up the most popular karaoke songs in the Philippines, and number one on the list was My Way by Frank Sinatra. So I just used that one. I had no idea about this like lore that he was talking about.
Yeah.
All right, what's it called? Like the system.
System, the Magic Mike.
Yup. No, not Mike.
Oh, yeah, well, that's what's mine called. The
It's called
karaoke
Magic
system?
Sings.
When Paula asked what you call the karaoke machine, and I had no idea. I was like, I don't know. I've never owned one. I think it depends on like the brand.
Oh, okay.
It's just magic. It's just
Yeah, just magic.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that. That was like one of my first mistakes, was saying it depends on the brand, and they were like, no, it doesn't. They're all called magic.
What's like a thing that you thought everyone did in the world, but it was actually just like a Filipino thing?
Oh my gosh, the spoon.
The spoon, right?
The
The
spoon, dude.
spoon.
I remembered it wasn't until like I want to say high school. At first I thought it was like, oh, it's an Asian thing, you know?
Don't give me-
And then like I saw like my other Asian friends like only use a fork, and I'm like, I
was like, how are you
it's
doing
only
that?
a spoon.
I don't know what the spoon is. Oh. I'm dumb. The way they framed it, I thought it was like a superstition with the spoon. Looking at it now, I'm like, oh yeah, no, they're talking about how we eat food with a spoon and fork at the same time, like dual wielding it. I thought anybody that you saw at a family party, you just called your cousin.
I mean, that's what you do, right?
And I thought that was a common thing.
Oh, gotcha.
But then they're like, how are they related to you? I'm like,
No, that's my aunt's friend.
okay, he's a family friend, whatever.
I thought that everybody measured the water when they were making rice with their fingers. Yeah, I thought that was just like a normal thing.
Wait, who said that?
John.
John. Okay, yeah, that's
You see how I like stumbled on my name? I was like, yeah, John. That was exactly what I was worried about.
it's a good one.
I was worried that I was going to accidentally say the wrong name or forget my own name. And so when someone said it, I wouldn't be able to know like that they were trying to talk to me. I chose John because it's a really typical Filipino name. Like I know like probably like 5 or 6 Filipinos that are named John.
All my white friends think it's weird that I use Vicks. So yeah, I don't think a lot of
The cure-all.
Clutch though.
Yeah, it is clutch.
The smell is good.
Yeah. Oh my God. It immediately reminds me of being at home sick and my dad's like, you gotta put Vicks on. And he would immediately just take this right here, put a little bit on my nose right here, and then like through here, and then maybe just like massage my back and shoulders with this. And there's also a superstition with Vicks that if you put this on the soles of your feet and then you wear socks, that you will stop coughing. Is there any like Filipino superstitions that y'all know about?
My mom always told me, don't sleep with your hair wet.
Oh, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Every time it was
Yeah.
raining, it was like you have to immediately like shower, get the hair dry. Also, I was told like if you have a mole on your palm, that that would mean you'll be wealthy one day. Which I have a mole on my palm, but I'm still waiting for that.
My mom always talked about this thing, like if you pee outside. Have you guys heard that?
No.
With like duende.
Oh,
You know the duende?
yeah. Like they'll do something bad to you.
Yeah, they'll like trick you or whatever.
Wait, what's duende?
It's like the little dwarf.
Nobody knew.
Like a
Nobody
tiny
knew.
little guy. Yeah. So if you pee outside and you pee on them, then they get mad and they like do something against you. So you're supposed to say
know, right?
you're supposed to say tabi tabi po, which is like like move out of the way or whatever.
I can't believe nobody knew that. I thought that was like a really popular Filipino superstition, but I guess it wasn't as popular as I thought.
Suspicious with anybody?
I'd say yes.
Maybe.
I am too, yeah.
Who's right next to me to my left?
Jana.
Jana.
Yes.
A lot of the things you said were kind of just generalized things.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about you. What do you do?
About me? Okay.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now.
Okay.
Let's see. I am a caregiver. I work at a nursing home.
That's very Filipino. That's like the most
This is where I was like chilling out. I was like, okay, they're suspicious of her, not me. We're okay. All we have to do is kind of like dogpile on her, get her kicked out, and then I'm safe.
Do you want me to prove more stuff to you? Because I can go on.
Okay, yeah. I was just curious. I want to learn a little bit more.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
I'm pursuing nursing after college.
Okay, yeah,
I
that's the most
graduate next
Filipino
week,
thing I've
so.
heard.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay,
so
I lied.
That doesn't sound convincing enough to you?
I don't know.
I'm just wondering, like you said, you lived in the Philippines for
Yes,
10 years.
I did.
But you weren't sure where your dad was from?
Mom.
I don't really ask my mom, to be honest with you, because like my mom is kind of like, I would say like they're whitewashing a bit, like my mom's side. My dad's side, they're very like, what you call this, like very Filipino in a way. So I don't know, I don't ask her anything.
But like
so.
even like the province?
I don't, because she doesn't speak any dialect.
She said that she didn't know where her mom was from. And I'm kind of just really big on like, even if like you were born here, I feel like it's really important to know like where your roots are, you know? Like, yeah, like you're Filipino, but like it's more than that. There's like thousands of islands in the Philippines. You should know like relatively where like both your parents are from.
I feel kind of bad for just like jumping on and Jana and kind of like asking her a bunch of really direct questions, but she kind of had a way of speaking that made it sound like she was lying. Like, even though I presume she was telling her real, truthful story, it always sounded a little bit suspicious. So she kind of did it to herself a little bit.
I felt very targeted because they're just like, oh yeah, she's the fake one because she's just answering like generalized questions. So I'm like, okay, well, ask me more like in-depth questions. That way I can like give you more in-depth answers, but that didn't really like come up. So I said, that's fine.
Sorry, Jana.
If you think the
Sorry.
mole is
Sorry.
still in the box and you'd like to continue playing the game, please raise your hand.
What's like a toxic trait or trauma, for lack of a better word, that a like your Filipino family or Filipino extended culture has?
Okay, so
said.
my biggest annoyance is that they veil generosity to manipulate people.
I 1,000% agree.
And
That's
it's- and it's-
really interesting.
And it's one of those things where I see that and I'm like, I just don't want to be that type of Filipino, you know?
Agreed.
There's a lot of like judgment as well,
Yeah.
especially on like physical appearance.
Yes, I was
Yeah.
gonna say
It's
that.
really hard to deal with sometimes.
My parents are really open and telling me when I gained weight or lost
Yeah.
weight.
Oh yeah.
All the time, man.
Even like family friends will be so direct, just like, "Oy, tumaba ka na."
Yeah.
What? Like,
Obviously, like standards of beauty is very subjective,
Right.
but I just don't.
After the taping, like behind the scenes, these guys were asking me like, well, how did you know that kind of stereotype about Filipinos that they're super direct if you're not actually Filipino? And I was like, I mean, like, look at me. You don't think a Filipino has ever told me that I look fat or that I've gotten fatter? I mean, if you just look through my YouTube comments, you'll find at least a couple of comments like that of people like, "Hey, Jared, tumaba ka na." So you don't necessarily have to be Filipino to like recognize a lot of these cultural things.
Respect the colorism in the Philippines
sure.
just
Yeah.
because my mom was really big on like, oh, you're getting too dark, like it's like 100 degrees outside because I like we live in SoCal and she's like, we should wear a long sleeve. Like, no, I'm not gonna wear a long sleeve in 100-degree weather.
Just like a lot of Asian culture, it can be really strict and also judgmental in the world of like academics and trying to succeed. And it's like I remember like a core memory of mine was like I was like 80th percentile in like my SAT scores, which is pretty decent. But I remember because my sister was like 95th percentile, my parents were really upset with me. And so just like growing up with that was a little bit difficult.
Just out of curiosity, how tall is everybody here?
I'm pretty short, but I'm tall for a Filipino, kind
Yeah,
of.
I'm mega tall, so like I'm 6'3".
Oh, never mind. I'm
My
not tall for a
cousin's
Filipino.
6'3". I'm 5'2".
I think I lied about
Dang.
5'8".
Okay, maybe I'm
5'8".
short. I lied. I'm 5'6".
I'm actually 5'11", but I didn't want to sound like I didn't want to say 5'11" because it's pretty tall, especially for a Filipino, and so I said 5'8", because I couldn't go too short because they could also hear that I'm like taller than some other people. So I don't know why I said 5'8". I think I just made it up.
That's my brother's
all good,
height.
dude.
I'm kind of tall for a Filipino. Like I'm probably the tallest friend in like all my friend groups, but I'm 5'5".
5'5"?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's my mom's height. I'm just like comparing everybody to my parents and my family.
yeah, like I'm super tall back home in the Philippines, but then here I'm like just average.
We didn't say what our favorite Filipino food was, which is
Oh yeah.
Mine is sisig for sure.
yum,
I love sisig.
yum,
I don't know if you guys
Sisig
know
is
what
the
this is
best.
called. It's called picadillo.
yum. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
it's almost like
I
arroz
don't know what that
cubana,
is.
right? Yeah. I love mongo.
Mongol.
Yeah, that's good.
That's the best. It's my comfort food.
I also didn't
I
know
mean,
what that
there's
one
the
was.
classics like halo halo, obviously. That one's. There was one other one that. Oh yeah. I used to ask my mom to make this all the time, but pancit molo when I was growing up was always one of my favorites.
Mine's gonna go on. Specifically cooked by my stepdad. I'm very.
Wait, is that the one with like the pork blood?
Yeah, pork blood.
Yeah.
Like he cooks it like perfect. Like every other place I go to, it's like super vinegary. So it's
That's
like
crazy because I don't know anyone that cooks dinuguan.
It's-
Like it's always store bought or
Yeah.
like from the restaurant.
You gotta cook it in a huge batch. You can't like do a small batch. I lied. I've never had it in my life. My stepdad cooks it
What?
phenomenally. I don't eat that. It's candied pork blood. I'm gonna eat it at home. I'm gonna eat it at home eventually.
Ray lied about that? Why? Why would he lie? He's Filipino. He could have said anything.
No bulalo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ate that a lot growing up because my mom is
Yeah.
from Cavite, right?
What
The
is it?
soup, right?
It's a soup. It's like
Yeah.
a beef broth soup.
I'm sure I've had it before. I just don't know the
It's got
name.
like
So good.
string beans and corn in
Cabbage.
it. Yeah.
Ooh,
It's
come
really,
on now.
really good. So I just got back from a trip to the Philippines. I was there for 3 weeks. So I'd never been to the Philippines at all before that. It was my very first trip. And so one of the places that I went to was Cavite. And then when I was there, I tried their local dish, which is called bulalo.
Anybody have like their parents make like Filipino?
The whole time I was in the Philippines, I was just like checking things off a list, like making my own story. Like, okay, I'm in Cavite trying the bulalo. I'm going to say that my mom is from here. In Metro Manila, I'm going to say that my dad is from here. Like, I was just creating the story as I was moving around the Philippines.
Filipino spaghetti.
Yes. My mom makes the best.
Every time I go back to my hometown, that's like for sure the first thing I tell her to make.
With the bright red hot dogs.
Yeah.
Classic.
Those are not normal hot dogs.
They're good though.
Ray's story was like a little bit weird, and I was a little surprised that, I didn't at least go one more round.
Dude, honestly, I was really surprised as well. I thought Sean had really good answers for all of the questions. I didn't think he was really drawing a lot of attention or suspicion from anybody, so that really surprised me. And in that round I didn't vote for him either. I think I voted for Ray, I think. Yeah. I didn't have a clear target in that round because no one was really interrogating anyone else. So I couldn't really dogpile on somebody, so I think I just randomly chose Ray, but this really surprised me that they sent Sean out.
If you think the mole is still in the box and you'd like to continue playing the game, please raise your hand.
Who voted to keep playing?
I did.
I did.
I didn't.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I thought we got him.
Yeah, it really feels like everyone here is Filipino. Like, I don't know who I would like vote for.
It does feel like we're all Filipino, but I think I just really watched too much Jubilee.
You're like extra suspicious.
Where the mole is just so good.
Don't take this the wrong way. I feel like Ray's fine. I feel like Bianca's fine. John, I'm so sorry. I don't know. There's just like, I don't know if it's my intuition. I hope I'm wrong, but like, I don't know. Like,
Ray.
I mean, like, money's on the
Straight to
line,
me.
you guys. Like, you know what I mean? So it's
She's
like,
speaking her truth.
Hey, man.
I don't know. I just feel like, I mean,
What's
like,
suspicious about me?
your accent is very American. Like, I mean, obviously we're all
But I was also raised in Canada, right?
That's true.
So like I might have a little bit of a different accent because of
That's
that. And I
different.
moved when I was 8, so I really have like the
Okay.
Canadian accent.
He did say he likes bololo, and bololo is pretty deep in there.
Yeah.
Very deep cut.
If you think the mole is still in the box and you'd like to continue playing the game, please raise your hand. If the light turns green, that means you have voted the mole out and you win. If the lights turn red, that means the mole is still in the box and you lose. 3, 2, 1.
Come
Oh,
on.
you guys.
Y'all, my intuition's right.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
She was so suspicious.
Oh my.
Damn it.
You guys.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh my. You know.
Oh my god.
I'm so sorry.
I said it. Oh my gosh.
She did say it. She did say it. She was so suspicious of me that last round, and she made it so clear. She was like, "No, I think you are the mole," and I was sweating, man. I was so nervous. But I like legitimately felt bad after that because I was like, "Man, we're like kicking Filipinos out of this game, and like we're kind of criticizing them and being like, hey, why don't you know this and why don't you know that?" And I kind of felt a little bit bad. Like I know it's just a game, but I felt a little bit bad. Sorry, guys.
I was not expecting you.
I didn't vote you.
I did.
I think I voted him for the first one.
I did too.
So I'm from Canada. In Canada, there's a really big population of Filipinos. And so when I was about 18, I really got to know the community. I was working at a place that was maybe like 50% Filipino. I met a girl and started dating. We started dating. And so I put a lot of effort into learning the language, and it probably took me like 2 years or something like that to get conversational. And that was like, you know, nearly 9 years ago.
Okay, so since you are not Filipino, what is something that like you think is so beautiful about the culture?
Filipinos are like the most hardworking people I've ever met, honestly. Like they are grinding out there, and it's amazing how much they're willing to sacrifice for their families as well.
This is
so
why
commendable.
this is why I always say at the end of my like workouts, I'm like, mabuhay Pilipinas. Mabuhay Pilipinas.
For me, being here was nerve-wracking, but I've kind of been in situations like this a lot for like the last 8 or 9 years, where it's a room full of Filipinos and I'm the only one that isn't. And something in me has always wanted to fit in and kind of assimilate to the groups that I'm in. In some ways, I've been playing this game for years, you know? I feel really comfortable with Filipinos, and I think Filipinos feel comfortable with me, and yeah.
Going through life and realizing how unique the Filipino experience is, that my parents migrated here was it, and forged a good life for me and my brother and all my siblings, is such a beautiful thing.
There it is. There's the money.
Woo! Woo! Ay nako, nanalo ako!
Nope, not this
Mabuhay
purpose.
Pilipinas!
That part was so awkward because they were just like, hey, here's this case of money, just grab it and start throwing it. But I'm just like on my own in the studio with like 3 cameramen just all watching me, like just stone face. And I'm just over there. They're like, just celebrate, throw the money around. So I'm like throwing it, but I'm like completely on my own in like silence. It was so awkward. But okay, that's it, guys. That's the video. I actually really like how it turned out. I was nervous to see how they were going to edit it, but it was really good. They did a really good job, and it was so fun to participate in that game. So thank you to Jubilee. If you guys want to check out the video, I'll put a link in the description below. But yeah, big thank you to those guys. It was a great opportunity. I had a blast. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video.